My name is Nate Akbij, and in this 4-in-4 video, I'll be sharing findings from an article called Secondary and Post-Secondary Education Outcomes of Students with Experience in Foster Care. And this study was done in collaboration with 5 colleagues. We're all part of a research team with the National Conference for Hidden Student Populations. So this is our project. And really, the study idea came out from a presentation that one of the authors, Maddie Day, did, where she basically said how there's this statistic that's heard again and again that 3% of youth with experience in foster care graduate from college. And she knows that more recent studies have been done since then, but there hasn't been kind of a definitive study to summarize those more recent studies. So that was our project. So our study had 3 aims. One is we wanted to comb all of the literature to report post-secondary, secondary and post-secondary education outcomes for students with experience in foster care based on best available and recent evidence. Second, we wanted to compare high school GED completion rates, college completion rates for SEFC versus young people in the US generally. And third, we wanted to look at which studies look at differences in these outcomes by race and ethnicity and what they found. All right, so what we did was we conducted a systematic review of the literature using the PRISMA method. We included journal articles, books, book chapters, reports that are publicly available, everything that was published between 2000 and 2023 that met 6 inclusion criteria, which are included in the article if you're interested. So as an example, studies needed to have a representative sample of SEFC, and they needed to examine outcomes up to a reasonable age. For example, at least age 21 if we're looking at high school GED completion, at least age 25 if we're talking about college degree completion. So after we conducted 2 rounds of blind review of these articles, originally we found 2,802 articles, publications rather. After our 2 rounds of review, 17 met all 6 inclusion criteria. And these 17 studies came from 5 original source studies. So our main findings. One is that high school GED completion rates range from 69% to 85%, and this is based on 8 publications. Rates of college enrollment range from 29% to 64%, based on 13 publications. College degree completion ranged from 8% to 12%. And when we looked at high school completion and college degree completion against national estimates from the census for young adults, students with experience in foster care were less likely to complete high school and considerably less likely to earn a college degree, right? About 8 to 12% versus almost 50%. That's where a big gap exists. Racial disparities in these outcomes were not widely studied. Only a couple statistically significant differences were found. We report those in the article if you're interested. So in terms of implications, first is our findings challenge this flawed but commonly repeated statistic that we hear about students with experience in foster care, right? We hear that about half finish high school, 20% enroll in college, and only 3% enroll a college degree. Rates from more recent studies that use more rigorous methods, they report higher rates, but there are still gaps that exist. So there's still work to be done. We have a whole list of recommendations about policy, practice, and research in the article, so check that out. But just to give an example, we advocate for increasing access to pre-college readiness programs, better equipping high school and college educators to work with students with foster care backgrounds. And also we advocate for federal funding for campus-based support programs and increased federal funding for education and training vouchers to keep pace with inflation and the rising cost of college. So check out my website. We've got a whole bunch more goodies on there, the one-page summary of this article and then other videos as well. Thank you for watching.